Frankly, I don't get it. I've never gotten it. I've never understood what Jerry Jones sees in Jason Garrett that indicates to him that this is the type of guy as a head coach that you could win a world championship with. I've never seen it, never understood it, still don't see it, still don't get it. It's got to be something. Is it loyalty because Jason Garrett helped you win a Thanksgiving game in 1994 against, what was it, the Green Bay Packers? I think it was. I could be wrong about the opponent. But because he threw a couple of big jump balls to Alvin Harper? Is that where the loyalty comes from? I just don't get it. Is it the fact that you like that Jason Garrett allows you to be incredibly involved and allows you to meddle and feeds your ego and capitulates to you? I don't know. Like, when all is said and done, if you're Jerry Jones and you want to meddle that damn much, then why don't you just be the fucking head coach of the team? Really? To me, as the owner, I would think, above all else, if I'm spending all this money, I want to win championships. And if me meddling is going to get in the way, I have to understand that. Now, of course, we're talking about Jerry Jones and his massive size ego. Maybe he really doesn't get that, really doesn't understand it. I don't know. But that's got to be what it is. He's sexually attracted to Jason Garrett, or Jason Garrett has pictures of Jerry Jones in intimate moments with women other than his wife. I don't know what it is. Because he was a Cowboy once, who gives a crap? Doesn't mean he's any damn good as a head coach. Jason Garrett, to me, is largely the epitome of mediocre. You can have worse head coaches, and you most certainly can have much better. When you look at Garrett's track record, since taking over from Wade Phillips midway through the 2010 season, the Cowboys are 69-56. 69-56. That's really nothing to write home about when you're talking about 8 seasons, effectively. Pretty much 8 seasons. And in those 7 full seasons, pretty much 8 seasons, you have 2 measly playoff appearances. Those 2 seasons, one with 13 wins and the other one with 12. That's all you've got. Otherwise, you've got as many 500 seasons, 3, as you do total winning seasons, which is 3, when you throw in 9-7 last year. Oh, baby! Just 1 playoff win. Like, what is it that makes Jerry Jones think that this guy is going to lead you to a championship? What is it that makes Jerry Jones think that having Jason Garrett continue to be your head coach is a good idea? It's because you're older and you don't want to change? Yeah, granted, maybe you don't want to go the Al Davis path, but you still should be doing what's best for the long-term health and viability and importance of the Cowboys organization. And Jason Garrett as the head coach is not it. And what's really sad and frustrating for Cowboys fans is when you look at Jason Garrett and his time in Dallas since he's been the head coach. Among other things, for Christ's sakes, Jay Cutler took the Bears to an NFC Championship game. Let me know when Jason Garrett gets the Cowboys to an NFC Championship game, for crying out loud. Sorry-ass Eli Manning won a second Super Bowl over the New England Patriots. The Eagles last year, with a young quarterback in his second year and a second-year head coach in Doug Peterson, ran the Philly special with a backup quarterback. So the second-year quarterback that was really good and on an MVP tear wasn't even there when the games truly mattered the most. Nick Foles and Doug Peterson led the Eagles to a freaking Super Bowl championship. That's all happened during Jason Garrett's regime. For Christ's sakes, the Redskins have made as many playoff appearances as the Cowboys. The Redskins during that time. Yes, it's true. They've made as many playoff appearances as the Cowboys during that stretch of Jason Garrett as the head coach. I pointed out the other 3 teams in the NFC East, which oftentimes to me is the NFC least, where the Eagles have won a Super Bowl during that time, the Giants have won the Super Bowl in that time, and the Redskins have as many playoff appearances with 2 different quarterbacks, RG3 in 2012, or what was it, Kirk Cousins in 2016, 15, whatever the fuck it was. The Redskins have made as many playoff appearances as the Cowboys. If that doesn't get it done, then how about the fact that the offense has regressed mightily over the last 2 seasons? All the while with an offensive line that's heavily invested in, a marquee running back that you drafted 4th overall last year, a young quarterback that's alleged to be your franchise guy, and your offense is going in the wrong direction. And you can sit there and blame the wide receivers, and you can sit there and blame Travis Frederick being out. But at some point in time, you can blame Dak Prescott for not really being truly that good. But there's also another common thread. That is Jason Garrett overseeing the offense. That is Jason Garrett truly calling the shots on offense. And their inability to adjust during the game, total inability to make halftime adjustments, to do something different and better in the second half. Those things are all glaringly obvious when you've watched the Cowboys during the Jason Garrett tenure. You're ruining a young quarterback. You're taking an offensive line that was the best in the league and made it look not as good. And it feels like in some ways you're wasting a super stud running back. It takes a special kind of suck to do that, and that's what Jason Garrett is. And then you look at last Sunday night's game. The Cowboys already off to a mediocre start to the season. Imagine that, Jason Garrett, the head coach of the team's playing mediocre football. Duh. Think about this. You got into a point with the Cowboys now where the defense is a vastly better unit, and you have an offensive-minded head coach. How the hell does that even work out? But you're playing in the battle of the Lone Star State. It's the Cowboys, it's the Texans, it's Sunday night football. Here's a chance to squash the in-state guys. Here's a chance to really get yourself some good momentum going forward the rest of the season on a prime time stage, which the NFL loves to put your organization in. You play this tough competitive game and then get to overtime, and on 4th and 1 on Houston's 42-yard line in overtime, you punt the damn ball. I don't give a crap if you want to say the Cowboys aren't successful as much with 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1. Bullshit. What a gutless, cowardly move that was. You know it's bad when Jason Garrett makes the decision and Jerry Jones is even criticizing it and openly questioning it and saying, we should have went for it there, basically. That was not a time to be a conservative. That was a time to take a risk and take a chance. And, of course, Jason Garrett pushed out. The hell good does it do to have that offensive line? What the hell good does it do to have Ezekiel Elliott? What the hell good does it do to have a mobile quarterback like Dak Prescott if you don't go for it on 4th and a yard in your opponent's territory in fucking overtime? Because you should be playing to win the game. Not sitting there and trying to punt at that point in time and hoping to God your defense can make a stop. And, of course, the Texans got the ball. DeAndre Hopkins goes full cheat mode, and the freaking Texans win the game in overtime. This is so ridiculous. It was ridiculous from an offensive standpoint because Jason Garrett showed absolutely zero faith in the offense to get that yard. And then after the game, he's talking about, it was a really long yard. It's a really long yard. The only yard that a lot of Cowboys fans want to be worried about is the longest yard that sends Jason Garrett's ass packing, if not at the end of the season, hell before that. You showed zero faith in your offense. All that investment you put in that offensive line, all that investment you put into Ezekiel Elliott, and you don't have the faith and confidence in them to pick up a 4th and a long yard in fucking overtime on Sunday night when you're trying to win a damn game? Are you trying to win a damn game? Do you have any clue what the hell you're doing? And then it also shows zero faith in the defense to get a stop. Because what you're saying is field position was more important than trying to win the game at that point. And you felt like you needed the field position because you didn't think your defense, who hadn't played that badly in that game, frankly, couldn't stop the Texans late and prevent them from kicking a game-winning field goal. Well, guess what? You could say, well, he was validated because they punted and then they marched down the field eventually and won the game. But at that point in time, you've kind of dispirited the defense, in my opinion, too, because you've shown zero faith in them. This was a chance where a good head coach takes a calculated risk, a gamble. And if it rolls snake eyes, then that's what it does. If you come up craps, then so fucking be it. But this was a chance to show that you have faith in your offense. Have faith in your defense if the offense doesn't get the job done. That you have faith in your entire team. That you have faith and confidence in your coaching staff and yourself and your play calling and your decision making and your coaching abilities. And of course that fucking ginger did none of that. Jerry Jones has to come to his senses. Since he ran Jimmy Johnson out of town and eventually ran Barry Switzer out of town, the Cowboys for the past 2 decades have been significantly a mediocre to bad franchise. And with all the players and coaches that have changed, what's the one mother effing constant in all of that? It is Jerry freaking Jones. It's just like when you see a dude or a woman talking about, I've been married 3 times and marriage isn't for me. If it's not for you, it's because all these other people are different. The only common denominator is the same. What are you doing to screw shit up? It's not the others that are the problem. It's you. They're not the ones screwing it up. It's you. My Chicago Bears have been to, think about this, an NFC Championship game and a Super Bowl with Rex Grossman as a freaking starting quarterback more recently than the Cowboys have been to a Super Bowl, or hell, let alone an NFC Championship game. People can make fun of Bears fans all the time for living in the fucking past, as you should, because we do, because what the hell else do we have to live in? Well, what the hell are Cowboys fans doing at this point? The only thing they can live in is the freaking 70s and the damn 90s. There ain't nothing recently that's been great. A sporadic playoff appearance here and there, and a lot of mediocre, crappy football. And continuing to allow Jason Garrett to be your head coach is just welcoming more of the same. Jason Garrett needs to go. Jerry Jones has to quit him. He has to quit him. I'm going to start calling Jason Garrett White Marvin Lewis. But even then, that feels like a massive insult to Marvin Lewis, because Marvin Lewis made several playoff trips. What, 7 of them total? Jason Garrett's made 2. You could call him Ginger Jeff Fisher, but even Jeff Fisher, while he loves going 7-9, he even made more playoff appearances during his career, and he took a team to a Super Bowl. Jason Garrett blows chunks, and the quicker he's fired, the better it is for everybody involved with the Dallas Cowboys, up to and including the fucking idiotic owner, the egomaniac, Jerry Jones. Quit him! It's not that hard. Find somebody that can actually coach, not just capitulate to you and your constant meddling.